Okay, let's get started. We are going to do a crypto analysis for the coming week. I'm going to start off with my Twitter feed because I've got some important posts that I want to discuss regarding news, regarding airdrops, regarding listings, and just random thoughts on the market. First things first, FTX is listing Nexo. Nexo is one of those yield lending and borrowing platforms similar to Celsius. If you're not familiar with it, I've been a big fan of Nexo for a while. I have a little bit of money in there, just something that gains interest here and there, but really not substantial. I only did it just as an experiment, but I'm super happy that they're getting listed on a big exchange like FTX. Definitely one to keep on your radar, something you might want to be paying attention as we head into the week ahead. It's getting listed on December 14th. Next thing I want to discuss is NFTs. Now, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, I've opened up our entire Discord community. The link for our Discord is below in the YouTube video that you're going to see shortly. And in our Discord community, we're very, very active in the NFT and gaming area, especially our friend Hui here, Snicks, all these guys, Elizabeth, everybody in here is very, very well aware and astute in the NFT space. And I'm super happy that we all get to share ideas, because one thing I believe that majority of people in the NFT world lack is awareness and context of the space that they're in, which is a very, very bubbly space, I want to say, simply due to the fact that over the last at least 6 or 8 months, we had insane movements in the NFT projects, especially a few of them like Bored Ape, Solana Monkey Business, Punks and whatnot. A lot of these projects just went up like crazy. But then majority of people thought they can find the next SMB or the next Bored Ape or the next Mutant Ape or Cool Cat or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, just like most of crypto, where you may be searching for your next 50x or 100x, majority of the time, you will be wrong, and you will probably lose at least 50% of your money if you do not close out of your position soon enough. Now, sadly, with the NFT space, there is no order book. You don't get to just sell into the market. Floor prices are meaningless unless it is literally a floor that is being held up relatively nicely, right? So it's not like an order book where you could just sell into. You have to basically keep pushing down the floor price to be able to get your order, quote unquote, filled. So one of the things that I did over the past few weeks is I cleaned up majority of my Solana NFTs. Why Solana NFTs? Because they're faster in terms of gas fees, or cheaper in terms of gas fees. And honestly, a majority of the assets that I own luckily still had a floor. They weren't literally at zero. So instead of taking 90 or 100% losses, I took an average 50% loss on a majority of selling my Solana NFTs. Okay. These were the ones that I really wanted to get rid of. And I think I sold literally like 90% of my NFTs. All right. I kept a few here and there only because I like them and I don't really care if they ever sell for anything more than zero. The only reason, by the way, I took a big loss is because I could afford it, because I was lucky enough to have our community, okay, our Discord community spot the SMB project, the Solana Monkey Business project, way back in like April or May or something, whenever it came out earlier this year. And I took huge profit on that. I didn't sell at the literal highs of the Solana Monkey Business, but I sold good enough where the losses from my current NFTs that I sold won't hit my pocket hard. And this is something that most of you need to probably consider, which is that instead of thinking out 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in the NFT world, you have to be conscious that this space is very much a hit or miss. Your projects, you should almost assume, will probably be marked at zero, because there's no telling what is going to go up, what is going to go down. So instead of hoping that your project that you own is going to go up because you have some fundamental belief in it, just assume that if it goes to zero and I have no bids or I have no offers on this project, how will you feel? And then make a decision based off that. So I just wanted to make that clear regarding the NFT space, because one of our friends Zahir wrote a very big post regarding the market, and then manager right here, this guy, very smart in the options world, really great algo trader, mentioned how most of the NFTs are already zero. People just don't know it yet. Okay. Now going on to Zahir's post, this is a very, very important post. I've retweeted this on my Twitter feed, and I hope you guys read it because it is particularly important. Let's start off by just quickly summarizing what exactly is happening in the market. Basically, for most altcoins since April or May, or some altcoins since September. Okay, so let's go through it. DeFi is the easiest that comes to mind. DeFi perp or Ethereum USD, right? Well, DeFi perp over Ethereum USD is down 50%. The DeFi perp in general is down about 41%, meaning the basket that contains a majority of the DeFi coins in this DeFi perp is actually down 41% from its highs. That's pretty crazy. And a lot of the names are actually still down 70%, something that I've discussed before. Right? If you actually look at, say, something like Aave is down from May. Let's do this. Let's do a price analysis, right? Aave is down from May 75%. And Aave is a damn near good project. Okay. YFI, again, a promising project in the DeFi 1.0 world, down about 78%. Compound from the highs, again, DeFi 1.0 project, down about 80%. Even Polkadot, okay, even Polkadot from its highs down to the lows is down 51%. Polkadot, Ethereum, BTC, they look similar in that they may have placed sort of a double top scenario, okay? The only way you really validate a double top is if it breaks this low between the two tops. That's pretty damn far low, right? But the fact of the matter is, you're already down from the local highs. You're already down about 50%. That's a lot. In any market in the world, 50% is literally like straight up bear market mode, okay? Only in crypto do we kind of still look at 50% drawdowns as, maybe it's a bear market, maybe it's not. And I can understand that because guess what? Many times crypto has gone from the highs to the lows of about 45, 50%, only to pump at higher highs. The problem with this thinking is that most people, okay, don't take market cap and valuation into mind. When something goes down 70% and then it pumps back up to previous highs, where does the market cap sit at? Polkadot previously, market cap wise, it was around, I think like $45, $50 billion. Now it's 30 billion. 30 billion is still a lot of money. But I will say, in context of how high these market caps are, they could go significantly higher simply due to the fact that we have an excess of money. We have a lot of money in the world seeking yield. So I understand that contextually that, okay, money needs a place to go because it just needs to be appreciated, right? Money needs to appreciate when in the hands of people. They need to find a place to put money because inflation is already so high. Right? So I understand that, but that doesn't mean that a lot of these assets are garbage. Okay. There's a lot of examples that Zahir gave. So even, NFT volumes, right? They've been completely obliterated. Volumes have dropped almost 80% from their peaks. I think the peak was basically around September or August. And a lot of them will probably never come back to life in terms of collections. Here's a perfect example of the very few collections that are actually leading the volume. Everything else is really just crap, right? I mean, most of the other parts of the market that generate volume are really not as big as the big collections. So you got to ask yourself, is your collection going to be the one that's going to come back to life? And if not, how are you going to start de-risking? How are you going to start taking profit with whatever profit that you could take? Or are you okay just marking it as a zero asset when it comes to a loss? Okay, these are thoughts that you need to think of because you are now trading a relatively mature market. You have to be able to understand how to take losses on certain things and not just pray and hope that the market will bail you out every single time. Speaking of other parts of the market that are taking massive losses, meme coins. I find it really funny that ADA was mentioned as a meme coin. And to be honest, I completely agree because it is literally a meme coin. I don't think that ADA has done anything over the past 5 or 6 years of its existence that either of these meme coins have, right? Like this is a pretty crazy thing that Shiba now wants to build its own DEX, its own NFT platform, something that ADA has not been able to accomplish in terms of being a quote unquote blockchain or smart contracts platform for the past 4 or 5 years. ADA is down from the highs. Let's see how much is down. Okay. Down from the highs about 59, 60%. Okay. Now, the problem with ADA again is that it is still an asset that is $40 billion. That's a lot of money for something that does nothing, right? I mean, tell me if you disagree. I'm not trying to hate on ADA. I'm just trying to explain to you that when you see assets dropping 50% from their highs, right, doesn't mean it could just pump up another 100 or 200%. You now have to keep the context of the market cap in mind, because we are in a world where a majority of these crypto assets have appreciated quite a bit and they've garnered big market caps. Other parts of the market that Zahir mentions, the Solana ecosystem, which has garnered a lot of attention in the past few months. Ray USD down negative 54%. Ray against Sol is down negative 62%. SRM is down 56% in its USD price. Tulip down negative 66%. Audio down negative 52%, right? So even the Solana ecosystem coins are down a lot. And Solana itself, okay, Solana itself is really breaking the range right here, okay? And from the highs, Solana is already down 37%. That's quite a bit. Obviously, we know dinosaur coins from 2017, XLM down 62%, EOS down negative 77%, and all these other ones down 60 and 70% nearby, right? Fact of the matter is that most people talk about, are we in a bear market? If this is not the definition of a bear market or a cleansing of the system, I don't know what is. But the good thing is, here's the good thing. We are still in a world where this checklist for low interest rates, excuse me, still applies. Let me get a sip of water here before I cough. So we're still in a world where the Fed is keeping interest rates low. So from the macro standpoint, keeping interest rates low means the Fed is telling people, go out, take risk, borrow money, right? We are okay with everybody wanting to innovate more or spend money more. This is effectively what having a low interest rate means. And in this low interest rate environment, innovation thrives, tech thrives, growth stocks thrive. Growth stocks such as Tesla will probably thrive. In the shorter term, it looks like kind of like crap, but in the longer term, when interest rates are low, this market could keep pumping up. Same goes for crypto. The only reason why I'm not completely bearish right now and saying, hey, we got to start, shedding our longs and having a bear bias is because the macro picture is so far skewed for the bullish side that it is hard to imagine a world anytime soon that we're just going to have an overwhelmingly bad bear market. I can tell you right now that even if price drops from here and sweeps this low, I can guarantee you that there's going to be some insane buyers, like big institutions that will happily buy up all of the BTCs that's being sold in this area. Same goes for good products like Ethereum, probably even Solana, and many others. But the point is that in this kind of structure right now, with these kinds of volumes and drawdowns that we've seen, you got to assume that we're already in a quote unquote bear market. Now, the question is, how do you minimize your downside? And how do you make sure that you're positioned for the next upside cycle? And where is that going to be? I believe that crypto runs on narratives. And as of right now, we have pretty much zero narratives that are fueling any particular parts of the sector. If y'all remember, several months ago, something that was really fueling parts of the crypto sectors was L1s. L1s are things like Solana, things like Luna, right? Things like AVAX. Okay, AVAX is another L1. These are the platforms that garnered a lot of momentum, a lot of money, because they kept offering unique strategies like, hey, come trade our NFTs, come stake your money on our platform that gives you 50%, 100% APRs, right? Come farm this new random altcoin on our ecosystem. So AVAX is another one. FTM is another one, right? But guess what? FTM is probably down almost 50 or so percent. AVAX is definitely down almost 50% from the highs. Solana, I already said, was down almost 35, 37% from the highs. So right now, we don't really have a bid for the L1s either. Okay, what about other narratives? Well, we had the gaming and metaverse narrative, right? Gaming itself, Axie Infinity, okay, Axie is also very much a blown up project, right? Axie is now worth about $6 billion. $6 billion is like more than some legitimate gaming companies in the world. So that's quite a bit, right? Again, you have to keep in context of the market cap of some of these assets rather than just how much they're down at a discount and how much can they go up further. Okay, Mana, somewhere on the borderline of metaverse and gaming, right? Also down from its highs. I think it's down close to 40% or so. It's down about 44%. Okay, Sand. I think Sand is also down about 35, 40%. 40%, right? So a lot of these assets are down quite a bit in the gaming and metaverse world. So we've now checked off L1 ecosystem. We've now checked off gaming and metaverse. What were some other ones? Well, we had the big DEX narrative, if y'all remember, right? Uni's a DEX. Uni's been down since May till now, almost 50 to 60%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here's the high. Here's where we are, 67%. YFI, which is a DeFi 1.0 coins, we already covered. Sushi and Cake, right? Here's Cake. Cake from its all-time highs to now almost down 74%. Okay, Sushi was another one from its highs to now we're down 77%. So why am I discussing this? Because right now there is no narrative in crypto, and crypto fuels off narratives. I do believe, though, there is one narrative that is building, and I'm going to explain that to you real quick. Okay, it is the ZK rollup narrative. I don't know how much weight this has in it, how much firepower there's going to be behind the ZK stuff, but one of the forefront leaders of ZK right now is a name that keeps coming up over and over again, and that's Matic. But even Matic right now is not that healthy in terms of price action over the last week. But guess what? It sure as hell looks much healthier than most other assets that I just showed you in this video, right? Matic from its previous all-time high is only down 34%. That's less than Solana, that's less than YFI, and Sushi, and Cake, and really anything else I've shown you, right? Even BTC. BTC from the highs to now is down 31%. That's not bad. Okay, so Matic compared to BTC, Matic compared to Ethereum, which is also down, let's see, from its all-time highs, Ethereum is down 20%. So as of right now, one of the strongest contenders in the market is the Ethereum-based ecosystem products. Ethereum is obviously one, and Matic is another. LRC is another one that I'm kind of paying attention to, but I'm not quite sure I have that much hope in it. LRC is also down about 40%, 41%, right? So you could see why we want to be paying attention to Matic as one asset and Ethereum as another. Over the past few days, we took a few trades, right? If you're part of the Discord community, you can watch some of my live updates in my live 5K account. Yesterday, I closed out of the Matic position, went into full cash, about $23,200. Okay, I'm sitting in cash and I closed out around 201 or $2 flat. So I saved myself, this little drop right here. I mean, it's not that big, but I still saved myself some money, right? Any money is good money in this market. Okay, so I saved myself a 7% drop in the market. Okay, now the question is, Do I want to rebuy Matic? Probably, because I sure as hell am not going to buy YFI. And I'm sure as hell not going to buy ADA, which looks like complete crap. And I'm definitely not buying Link, which also looks pretty damn bad. So why do we focus on things like Matic? Well, one, because structurally they look better. And two, because they now have a narrative behind it. So if you're buying into anything, it's best to buy an asset that's down the least and that's now structurally looking the best. Okay. So, and obviously Matic is one of them. All right. So just something to pay attention to. Now, in terms of levels for Matic, I definitely keep this pivot in mind right here, this daily pivot, which is around $1.80. I would probably think about this pivot as well as the bottom of this channel right here. Price might wick into this area. And if it wicks in, it's probably around $1.75 or something. So pay attention to those levels. Okay. $1.80, $1.75. I mean, other than that, it's already broken below the weekly pivot, which just opened like last night and just sold off aggressively, right? So Matic is not really looking that good in the near term, but support levels wise, he could probably bounce around this $1.80, $1.75 range. Okay. Another asset that's coming up in the L1 ecosystem space is Near protocol. Okay. Everybody keeps talking about Near as, something that will be better than Avalanche and stuff. I don't quite know or believe in that. I do want to say that it could do something potentially great. But again, in this particular area, guess what? You're now also printing maybe another potential Head and Shoulders. Given that most of the market looks like crap, I don't see any reason why Near is not going to get pulled back towards, these lows again. Okay. If you really think that Near is going to go higher, well, then this is your spot to bid. This is your nice retest right here of a very clean $9.60 level. And if it bounces from here, we could expect new all-time highs above $13 or so. And so from here, that's almost a 35 to 37% move. That's pretty damn solid. So keep an eye on this Near project. Okay. Everything else, I do want to point out once again, I pointed out to Advantage members a while back that we had this open interest be extremely high. And right around, middle of November time, I pointed out that open interest being this high is generally not a good thing for the market, especially when the market itself was looking like it was going to be an expanded flat correction. And guess what? Lo and behold, from there, we started to come down. So we mentioned and warned our Advantage members that you want to start reducing your risk exposure and you want to start reducing your levered exposure in the market. Though I cannot provide financial advice, these are the things that I can tell you, which is that you want to start thinking about reducing risk. You want to start also paying attention to volumes, which were significantly high in May and June, and they've been relatively low since then. Look at where the volumes have come down. They're now across the board at 59 billion. Versus the highs back here was at 500 billion. That's a drop of almost 85, 90%. When volumes are low, that means that there's not enough churn in the market. There's not enough buying and selling. There's not enough really strong bids in the market. Because when there's enough volume in the market, right, especially when the prices keep going up, that means that people are willing to keep transacting at higher and higher prices and at higher and higher volumes. Right now, people are not doing that. They're probably de-risking, just like I told y'all I was going to do. And I mentioned this in the 5K account. I mentioned this in my main account right here in position updates. Are there any questions right now? Okay, what do you think about institutions taking Q4 profits and won't enter again until beginning of next year and maybe at best sideways action until then? What are your forecasts on the SEC meeting and impact of crypto? I don't think the SEC meeting is going to be a big deal, but we had a congressional meeting last week already. Sam Bankman-Fried was in it. Jeremy Allaire from Circle was in it. Let me pull that up. Jeremy Allaire, SBF. XLM CEO, right? There was a congressional meeting, right? Congress, just type that in. Okay, this happened already last week. And in my opinion, I thought it was a relatively positive meeting. There was nothing bad about it. There was some, sort of paintbrushing of our crypto space as some, crazy esoteric gambling machine. And to be honest, it's not the worst portrayal because it could definitely be much worse. But I think the congressional meeting was not really that bad. And overall, I think that lifts a little bit of the fears off of crypto temporarily. I do, however, think that in the month of December, there is a lot of potential profit taking, but generally, like most funds, what they're really doing is they're doing some profit taking, but what they're really also doing is they're not leaving bids in the market to support price, right? That's another big part of how buying and selling works in an asset, in a market where you have to realize that if there is sell pressure coming down, are there enough buyers to support price and keep propping it up? And if there's not, well, then the price is going to keep slicing lower and lower until price finds a point where the buyers are finding it very attractive now to step into the market and buy everything. And I don't quite see that as yet. Maybe it has happened right here, given the fact that we've hit the 200 moving average as well as the VWAP yearly. Maybe this is the bottom, right? But we got to build a base here. We got to build a base here for maybe another couple of weeks. We might have one more sweep at these lows right here, head all the way to 46K and then reclaim. That's also possible. But for now, it kind of looks iffy, right? We don't really know if this is going to be the bottom. Okay. The Fed is looking to have a meeting around December 15th. Yes. So it is possible that maybe they're going to talk about raising interest rates, but I think they've already mentioned that they're not going to do it until middle of 2022. And guess what? If they're thinking about doing it in the middle of 2022, the markets right now, whether it's crypto looking like this, whether it's Tesla looking like this, or Amazon, or other tech stocks like Facebook, Twitter, any of these assets, right, that are high growth tech stocks, maybe they're already pricing that in. Okay, maybe they're already pricing in that the Fed is going to raise interest rates. And by the time that happens, these assets are ready to start rebounding and start pressing up higher into March and April of this year. And that may mean that crypto in the same time may build a base right here, like a 1, 2, 3 month base, and then we start pushing up and out of here. It could also mean that we have another leg down in the market, especially for BTC. If that's the case, then I'm expecting these lows to be swept for sure. So we might go as low as, I don't know, 35,000, 36,000 or something. Okay. So yeah, I don't think the Fed is going to raise interest rates like right away. I think that would basically be monetary suicide. Okay, it would not be smart. Ron says there is a nice article about question why BTC is not going up as it is inflation reverse asset. So an inflation hedge, right? Well, I think the problem is that it's really not that great of an inflation hedge. It is, and it's trying to carve itself as a potential inflation hedge. But remember, we're only 10 years into this asset class, right? In the next 5 or 10 years, it could define itself as a clear inflation hedge. But right now, it's not. Right now, what crypto benefits off of is actually inflation. So it actually benefits off the idea that inflation and money supply is persistent in the market. You could look at the money supply M2B, right? See, this is overall money supply. Where's money supply? What's the ticker for it? M2. There's a really fantastic chart that shows a money supply as a function that keeps going up, especially because the Fed keeps printing like this. I forgot what the ticker is, but oh, maybe it's M2 stock. There it is. Okay, so this is your money supply, right? This is effectively how much money is in the system and how much it's going up. Well, you could definitely see from this March 2020, right, COVID crash, money supply just ramped up like crazy. Okay, as money supply goes up, that means inflation in general is going to go up. That means more money is in people's hands. And that means that crypto itself benefits from having more money in people's hands or more investable money. Okay, it's as simple as that. So as of right now, there's not an inflation hedge per se for BTC. Let me see. There's a question in the chat. You seem to have been bullish on ETH only a few days ago, ETH BTC and ETH USD. You seem to have gone sour on that. No, I think you got to think of it as time frames. Okay, I am still bullish on ETH, but if it doesn't hold this low right here, that's not a good thing. Like, I can't just be blindly bullish just because I said it 4 days ago. Okay, that's not how markets work, right? So if it doesn't hold this level, then I have to start looking lower and lower. But what are the next key support levels? So it's probably going to be mid 3000s, low 3000s. It's really as simple as that. So, you know, it doesn't matter what I said 4 days ago or 5 days ago. It's what's happening today. Okay. Trust me, you want to be flexible and be able to pivot in this market, because if you hold on to a bias too long, very quickly your assets can start going negative 20%, 30%, 50%, and you're going to be stuck still holding your bags and still holding your bias, not knowing when you're going to get relieved from your position. And you're probably going to puke it out at the bottom, you know, just panic selling. And you don't want to be in that position. All right. Happy to help. Okay, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. I will keep you all updated through the chat, you know, in our Discord channels. So make sure you share this link. It's in the official announcements channel right here as well. Right here, the Discord link. You could share it with your friends, family, whoever. Hope to see more of y'all soon. All right, cheers.